Так, ну чё, ребята, всем привет, с вами Антон. И я продолжаю проходить для вас замечательную игрушку Noire. Это уже 7-я серия по этой игрушке, ну, 7-я часть. И я не могу никак оторваться от этой игрушки, она просто много кайфа добавляет. Значит, Георгий, привет. Привет. Как ваши вообще дела? Что вы делаете? А сегодня у меня такой день был. Я просыпаюсь, короче, в 11:47. И я вижу, что времени уже осталось немножко, чтобы успеть в колледж. И я, в общем, такой оптимизируюсь. Я готовлю быстро покушать себе немножко. И я, в общем, быстро моюсь, одеваюсь. И, в общем, выхожу я в 12 часов где-то. Ну, где-то 12:10, по-моему. И быстро еду домой. Короче, какой домой, блин? В колледж. И я в итоге успеваю на занятия. В общем, такой день у меня случился, что я как-то поспешил со временем, что... Ну, долго спать, конечно, вредно, поэтому я постараюсь, чтобы больше такого у меня не было, чтобы я на занятии не проспал. Вот такие дела. В общем, перехожу к геймпаду. И да, всем приятного просмотра. Я надеюсь, что вы оцените эту игру так же, как и я. И если вам нравится, то ставьте лайки, чтобы я знал, что вам эта игра нравится. Мне потому что очень важно и обязательно... Ну, в первую очередь, обязательно подписка на мой канал, лайк, комментарии и колокол, потому что это очень важно, чтобы мои записи попадали в рекомендации. Поэтому поехали, мы продолжаем убийство сектарш. У нас, блин. В общем, наверное, очередное убийство. Ну, сейчас узнаем. А, секретарша его. Блин. В общем, мне пришлось еще, знаете, что мне сделать? Сделать так, чтобы у меня максимум теперь во всех играх было 60 FPS, конечно. Потому что хочется узнать, будет так работать. Ну, игра так или нет. Но, в общем, работает, конечно, вот так. И, в общем, вот. Ну, как-то так. Ладно.
Keep a hold of your hat, counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring, a matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
Так, новое место железная дорожная станция. Так, новое место ломбард, новый фигурант и...
And Deirdre Muller's ring. The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
When exactly did you get that book of riddles shoved up your ass, Phelps? Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
Did you read about that woman who stabbed her husband?
Наверное, тебе какое дело, напарник?
I used to be indecisive. Now,
isn't he the cop that won the medal and is solving all the cases?
Can you drive to this one?
And where exactly are we going?
Ну давайте в первую очередь железное дорожное депо.
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sakes.
And he always maintained he was set up.
Угу. Да уж.
You boys ready? Follow me.
Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
Ага.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Угу. Ну хорошо, что телка опять не раздел.
Smell?
Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
The autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
Спасибо, что больше вы не раздеваете. Это как-то... ну, я не то что... Ну, я не против посмотреть, но просто... мне уже не особо нравится.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. Blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Blood splatter on the carriage. She must have been struck while standing up.
I wouldn't park there if I were you.
Угу. Сегодня я не знаю, сколько я постримлю. Так, ну давайте это все дело прочитаем сначала.
Someone was trying to get her to come home. We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's gonna be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Угу.
This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating. Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her. What are you thinking, Ray?
The city keeps tossing us dead bodies. We're just running to catch up.
А это чё?
Giving me anything to go on.
Ну, действительно. Не поможет. Как же иначе?
Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him.
Контакт с уликами.
You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick in her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
Обнаружение трупа.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
Блин, Расти как-то вообще жестко относится. Как-то... А тут эти улики вообще? А, у меня баллы интуиции закончились. Жалко. Ну ладно. Ну давайте посмотрим, что я нашел. Так, улики. Так. Заложенное кольцо. Так, время. Пропавшее кольцо. Так, время смерти. Бредячничество. Так, сумочка. Верхняя часть разорванного письма. Работа на студии в сумочке. И губная помада. Ага. Книга около кровати убитой. А, ну это уже другое дело.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor. Closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thank you.
I'm at a loss.
We need to follow up this lead from the pawnbroker, Phelps.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Ну поехали. Тут уже осматривать нету смысла, поэтому
Read
поехали.
that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that.
Those people are starving. They can't do that.
They want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. You spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
Ломбард. 10:46 часов.
How can I help you boys?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? I gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. And feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
Давайте с этого начнем.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
Так. Так. Ну, поехали отсюда.
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Хотя, давайте посмотрим карту и узнаем, есть сейчас какие-то преступления или нет. А, ну да.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak with Captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. The Perp is having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letters. The Dahlia letters are genuine. The man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Mullen.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
Так, еще долго ехать? Ну-ка, давайте посмотрим. Да нет. Не так сильно долго.
KGPL to all units. Citizen reports man with a gun. Union and Rockwood Street. Union and Rockwood Street. Unit to handle code 2.
God damn it! I said cough it up! I'm not gonna say it again. That's it, old man. I've had enough of your gibberish.
Give it up, LAPD!
Obnoxious oaf. Hurry! You can still catch him. He went that way.
See him?
Hurry! You can still catch them.
Супер. Одна проблема меньше. Блин, надо было назвать не просто прохождение, а оригинальное. А то другие могут понять, что это... Это типа русское.
Where are we headed?
Винный магазин Левайна.
What can I do for you? LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. You know, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store. That was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around.
Окей, сейчас.
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
Так, контакт с жертвой.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Связь с жертвой.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on. I hope the information I gave you was helpful. I hope you catch the guy.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
Бар уменьши. Я где-то часик один постримлю, потом, возможно, где-то 1,5 часа, возможно, но не факт. Я сегодня хочу это дело пройти и все.
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers, what is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Так. Давайте я сейчас посмотрю. Окей, ладно. Так, криминальное прошлое. Давайте начнем.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
You want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights, that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
Последний контакт с жертвой.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No, I was at home, writing.
Do you want to get dragged into this, McCaffrey? Do you want us to get interested in you?
She hung out with this powder puff, James Tiernan. They haunted the public library together.
How well do you know James Tiernan?
I know he works some kind of plebeian job at Rawlings Bowling Alley.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
И все, что ли?
You're free to speak to the regulars. Just don't shake them too hard.
You a friend of Evelyn Summers?
Who's asking?
Very cute. You know who's asking.
I know my rights.
You don't have any. Answer the question.
Evelyn mooches for drinks. I don't have any time for that.
Was that so hard?
Keep writing me, copper. Looks like trying to enjoy a quiet drink is against the goddamn law now, huh?
Ну, как хотите.
You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day, and it's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
I meant as a suspect, Rusty.
Но мне не нравится этот паршивый пес. Не нравится с ним такое общение, он вообще просто как будто ему все равно.
Hey, there's such a thing as soap, you know?
I saved a whole year for that car.
You don't see that every day.
Phelps, leave him be.
That price is outrageous.
Any ideas?
Куда мы можем съездить, а? А в боулинг я ехал?
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Не, в боулинг я не ехал, поэтому поехали.
I survived the war for this?
Нормально.
Hello, Rusty. Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Phelps. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence. You got a guy works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters. Go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
That cherry pie was delicious.
Boy, down the left side of the alley.
What's a special of
What the heck? Egg for running.
This is a tasty burger.
What now?
You think talk is cheap? Try hiring a lawyer.
Tell the cook these were some good drinks.
Sam's taking me out to Palm Springs for the weekend.
You're a real asshole, you know that? What is America going to understand about
So, you gonna see your married man again?
Mister, a man like you always loses a battle of wits because you're unarmed.
Broad has socks in it for you.
Где это пацан?
That's one heck of a
Этот?
Sunday. Food wasn't great, but you're nice.
Ah, one of these days.
Ideas?
So the kid is in back somewhere. Let's pick him up.
Legs were running.
You think talking's cheap? Try hiring a lawyer.
What's the special of the day?
Wrinkled was not
That
one of the
cherry
things
pie
I
was
wanted to be when I grew up.
Tiernan, LAPD.
Вот он где.
There.
What are you waiting for? Get after it!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
Come on, Phelps, you're losing that little weasel. Another runner. At least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means. Joyride is over, kid.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble. Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Whoa, looks like we're going into the tunnels.
God damn it, he'll kill himself.
It's all right, as long as he doesn't kill us, I'm okay with it. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road. That's the end of that. It's about fucking time.
Give it up, LAPD.
Вот дурачок. Прям в тоннель заехал и все. Делать ему больше нечего.
Any central unit, 459 suspects to be taken into custody at the trolley station on Lucas Avenue. Stand by for further.
Окей. Блин, опять я в машинах. В машины врезаюсь, господи.
City at the trolley station on Lucas Avenue. Stand by for further.
This is car 11 King. Go ahead with the further.
11 King, 2459 suspects.
Should have iced those folks. You leave no witnesses, you stay out of the
I'm
poke.
not riding all the way to Santa Ana and then on to Cincinnati with you pissing in my
But
ear.
I'm tired of always being on the lam.
I don't have a choice. A stick-up charge is still a stick-up charge, and I ain't going back inside.
You're both coming with me. Don't do anything stupid.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
Ой, ой!
Hit it. Clean this asshole off the road.
Роды!
Hands behind your head.
Все. Блин, вот мне уже надоело убивать людей, это просто.
Car 11K calling KGPL. Code 4 at the Lucas Avenue trolley station. The 459 suspects are in custody.
Roger, 11K. All units, code 4 on the 459 suspects at the Lucas Avenue trolley station.
Так, у меня еще
You
15.
drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Так, еще у меня, значит, еще ранг повысили. Но у меня сейчас 17 левел, поэтому это супер. Ой, так.
You're free to speak to the regulars. Just don't shake them too hard.
At the moment, all I want to do is talk to the bottom of my glass.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
What the hell?
I used to be
That price
indecisive.
is outrageous.
Now I'm not so sure.
I hope the information I gave you is helpful. I hope you catch the guy.
Может, так, ну-ка, давайте посмотрим. Интуиция. Показать все улики недоступно.
Hey, that's a pretty girl dressed in that nurse's aide uniform. You know who she looks like? Yeah. Why, you're right, Bergen. It's Jane Wyman. You've been
Куда ехать-то? Туда, что ли? Или чё? Я не понимаю. Вообще не понимаю. Куда мне, мать его, ехать?
You're behind the wheel.
Вот куда? Если я что-то не нашел на месте преступления, то ладно. Может, здесь какие-то улики можно найти? Ну-ка, давайте посмотрим. Нет, тут не требуется, чтобы я нашел улики. Вообще.
The regulars might have something else to tell you, but I don't.
Looks like trying to enjoy a quiet drink is against the goddamn law now, huh?
Так, место. Вот куда мне ехать, а? Вот куда мне ехать? Я вообще не знаю, куда мне ехать. Я вообще просто кругами буду ехать.
You can drive.
Так, на всякий случай посмотрю, что надо сделать. А, книгу надо было смотреть, господи.
That's the guy. I heard he's an honest cop. Oxymoron for you.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Hello, Edgar. Hello, Charlie. Jane, what are you doing here? Helping out of the nurse's aid. Oh, we'll roll up a bandage and
When is America going to understand? It's not about getting, it's about giving.
И информация о МакЭфри.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
Ну все, давайте на этот раз.
Car 11K, Car 11 King, KGPL.
11 King.
A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central. Go to.
11 King, en route. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
А, уже выбрано. Хотя не.
Oh, sister, I was so
You drive.
tight I
I
couldn't
need to go over the
walk.
case notes.
Надо было книгу смотреть, блин. Я не понял, почему я не мог посмотреть, но ладно. Центральное отделение полиции. 1:16 часов.
Parker for Green.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
Ага.
That's the cop from the newspapers.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick, but she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And to follow up on Evelyn Summers, I want daily reports.
I used to be indecisive. Now I'm not.
We got our order. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
Operator, message KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
No.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks for your help.
How long is this gonna take? That broad has socks in it, Brazier.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Please. Let me pose a question.
Depends. What's it got to do with it?
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Don't think this is anything.
Ага. А вот и письмо.
From the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
I don't think this is going to help us.
Ага, все.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
Isn't he the cop who won a medal and is solving all the cases?
А, кстати, я не полностью осмотрелся. Отойдешь ты еще смотреть.
Incidental.
think his name is Phelps. He brought in that case of that poor lady killed near City Hall.
Grosvenor McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'll go get our wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Lock him up. Throw away the key.
There he is. See him?
Give it up, LAPD.
Давай, стой. Так, давай. Попался? Урод проклятый.
You're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. I don't think that asshole Jameson did that, do you? Now, whoever did it, was that Dahlia fucker.
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
Ну, посмотрим, что этот нам Фри скажет. Фри. Блин, да вот что за такие имена вообще, фамилии еще причем? Пипец вообще. Ничего себе.
Sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young Phelps.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my sap.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you bring me the file? Do you really think I'm gonna squeal?
Так. Что у нас? Джеймс Тирнан. Ага.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
Now you want me to lie? No entiendo. Well, are there any leads?
Так, связь с жертвой. Последний контакт с жертвой. А так, погоди. Погоди.
Do I need to find someone to look after me meanwhile? Afraid not. Is interview 2 free?
If you don't ask, you never find out.
Perdón, señor. Does this mean I lose my license? Are you going to release me now? How long
А, погоди, это бесполезно. А погоди, у меня что, нету последний контакт с жертвой? Чё? Наверное, надо было сначала с МакКэфри. Наверное, не знаю. Ну, давайте сейчас. Ага. Опять там, знаете, вот такие звуки бесит. Это то ли скорая помощь или полиция. Вообще бесит, что на моем районе ездят. Не знаю, слышите вы это или нет, но...
Those Vice boys get any on the side?
А так, погоди.
I didn't want to arrest the kid, so I gave him a dusting he wouldn't forget.
You lousy bastard.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Так, ну чё? Чё? Связь с жертвой. Так. Ага.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
You'll have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me.
А книга для тебя чё?
We know that you thought enough of her to loan out your copy of the Metaphysics.
I what? I did no such thing. That bitch stole that book from my apartment. The impudent fucking moron.
And that made you angry?
Angry? I was livid. Looking up at me with that stupid face of hers, begging me to forgive her. Aha. Very good. That's one to you, detective.
Алиби Мак... Господи, что такие? Так. Алиби МакКэфри.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
Письмо разорванное.
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
Hey, don't mind me.
Guy gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
Well, you don't see that.
Так, мне не сюда. Вот сюда мне надо.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Так, у меня нету, к сожалению, улики последний контакт с жертвой, конечно. Я не знаю, как я с этим буду выкручиваться. Но...
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
You hate McCaffrey. You're trying to frame him for this.
You've got the wrong guy. How can you prove that?
Алиби Джейсон. Алиби Джеймса Тирнена. Так. Покупка алкоголя.
I'm telling you, McCaffrey did this. Do something about it and leave.
Понятно, не то, не то, не то. Видимо, я не то выбрал. А я вообще не знаю, что я выбрал. Это полная тупость, конечно, но ладно.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45. I want to stop him with one round.
А допрос с кем-то уже прошло или... Ну, давайте я посмотрю.
I want to make homicide. You know you
ready to answer some questions?
Серьезно?
All the answers.
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Так. Угу.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Doesn't look good, Grosvenor. It's either you...
Господи, что я вообще выбираю-то? Господи. О, господи, я вообще путаюсь. Допросы, господи. Господи, я чё вообще выбираю? Я уже, честно говоря, начинаю путаться.
Hey, you think those vice boys get any on the side?
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Так. Так. Криминальное прошлое, сомнения.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
You'll have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me.
We know that you thought enough of her to loan out your copy of the Metaphysics.
I what? I did no such thing. That bitch stole that book from my apartment. The impudent fucking moron.
And that made you angry?
Angry? I was livid. looking up at me with that stupid face of hers, begging me to forgive her. Aha. Very good. That's one to you, detective.
Алиби МакКафри. А я уже читал.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
Ну, посмотрим.
I gave his wife a tap. I said all today I'm loving more.
Мне самое главное, нельзя ошибаться, иначе такие ошибки просто так не прощают вообще нисколько.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Так, ну давайте посмотрим. Так, обнаружение книги жертвы. Давайте с этого начнем.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute, but, you know, I'm not so sure.
Так, доступ к орудию убийства.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
Well, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Алиби Джеймса Тирне... Да.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left! That was it!
Покупка алкоголя.
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. That she wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, McCaffrey was a hero, McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Well, are there any leads? Hey, look. Doing this mean I lose my life?
Связь с жертвой.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
How long is this gonna take?
Ложь? Сомнения?
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
No.
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out.
No, don't go!
I want to make.
We both want the truth here.
You know you made it if you can get that down.
What the hell is the LAPD up to these days?
Не, давайте попробуем, я не знаю. Но только чем мне... Так, доступ к монтировке.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
If it was planted there, then some evil mastermind must be at work here.
Блин!
You got a name, McCaffrey?
Tiernan. Who else?
I was under the impression you thought Tiernan incapable of tying his own shoelaces.
Я не то выбрал, господи, звук был другой. Ах, я, короче, не знаю. У меня нету связи жертвы и последний контакт с жертвой. Нет у меня этой улики. Я не знаю, где я найду. Так, это где у нас? Ой, господи, нет, я не буду сейчас. Я не знаю, ехать еще раз. Узнавать, где найти последний контакт с жертвой. Ну, я вообще не знаю, где вот найти.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Так, интуиция, значит. Так, места. Только это... больше ничего нету, что ли, господи.
Going to church I want to make homicide. You know, you've got it made if you can get to that task.
А вообще, можно убрать этот вопрос, господи? Вообще, давайте я посмотрю, где можно... Так, погоди, допрос МакКафри. Последний контакт с жертвой добавится во время допроса. Так, дом. Ага, дом. Ага, окей. Может, в доме у него... Ну, тут пишется.
Mouthpiece was stripped off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
Но тут по любасу нужны улики. Ну, надо еще одну улику, ну, накрутить и все.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Ну-ка, надо найти эту улику, иначе я не знаю. Где я вот найду. Так, погоди. Вот мне придется посмотреть. Я не буду заново перепроходить, а то реально. И это реально уже надоест, поэтому.
Isn't that the cop who solved the big case and
Так,
got
меньше,
promoted?
да?
I've told you where he might be. That's the best I can do.
Не, какой выход? Господи, ты угораешь, что ли? Господи.
Can you drive to this one?
Мне реально надо найти улику по поводу последнего, ну, с последней контакт жертвы. Может, это что-то добавится, я не знаю.
This is a tasty burger. I can't decide between the tuna fish and the chicken.
Son, you're a couple of slates short.
Господи, это надо было... О, господи! Мне что, это заново, что ли, надо перепроходить? Ух! Да уж. Это надо все заново. Жаль, жаль, жаль. Что так. И не знаю, какого теперь успеха добьюсь, но ладно. Ну, в общем, ребята, я не буду пока что гонять. Я уже все, не хочу дальше гонять. Потому что так, я растяну стрим, а мне неохота. Поэтому, ребята, спасибо, что вы были со мной. С вами был Антон. Подписывайтесь на мой канал, ставьте лайки, пишите любые комменты. Как вообще вам было проходить по этой игре. И если вы хотите знать, когда будет стрим, вы, если что, можете присоединиться на мою беседу. Там я уведомляю тем, кто онлайне. Вот поэтому как-то так. Ну и самое главное, вы колокол прожмите. Ну вообще подпишитесь, поставьте лайк и колокол, чтобы мои записи стримы показывались в рекомендации. И вот, собственно, вот. Как-то так. Ну, давайте, ребята, на этом у меня все. С вами был Антон. Всем удачи и пока.